Welcome back to the Arbitress YouTube channel. In today's class, we'll learn how to make this lovely rushed bobo effect. Okay, so it has this rush effect in front, and it can also be fitted in front if you want. So this gown can actually be styled in 4 different ways, and I'll be showing us how we can style it in this video also. It's very simple to make and it is beginner friendly. If this is what you would like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so to make this kaftan is quite simple. You don't need too much measurement because it's quite free. So now I'm working with a fabric of 2.5 yard, and I'm folding the 2.5 yard into 4 like this. Okay, 1 2 3 4 to cut my front and my back. So this is my fold point. So my center front and my center back is on this side, and the length of this fabric is 58 inches, which is the length I'm working with. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to be doing is to measure out my neckline. Depending on how wide you want your neckline to be, I'm working with a neckline of 3 inches or 3.25. I don't want it too wide. Okay, so I've marked my 3.25 like this, and the neck depth I'm working with for the back is going to be 1 inch, while for the front is going to be a V neckline. So I'll be working with 8 inches because I want it to be quite bold. So now I'm going to mark the back neckline using my curved driller. Okay, and then for the front neckline I'm going to mark my V shape. I hope you can see this very well. Okay, so let me just try to. So this V is for the front, and this small one is for my back neckline. Okay, so I hope you can see it better now. So the next thing, I'm going to shift my fabric a bit. On this side, I'm going to be measuring 2 or 3 inches downwards for my shoulder slope. Okay, so I'm going down by 3 inches here, and then I'm going to be connecting it from my neck, where my neckline stops here, diagonally to that side. Okay, so I'm marking it like this. So this is my shoulder slope. I hope it's visible enough. So after my shoulder slope, I'll be marking my sleeve opening. So you can use 6, 7 or 8 inches depending on how open you want your sleeves to be. For me, I'll be using 7 inches. So from where this shoulder slope stops, I'm going to be marking 7 inches downwards here. Okay, so this means my sleeve opening is from here to here. This is what my sleeve opening will be looking like. So after that, now I'll go down to the hem line. Okay, and then from this edge here, I'll mark 4 inches inward. This is fine for me. It won't affect the fitness. So these 4 inches, I'm going to maintain it downwards like that. So I'll keep marking 4 inches till I get to the hem line. So that is how I want to shape it. 4 inches downwards, and then that 4 inches, I'm going to connect it to my sleeve opening in a smooth curve like this. So from here, I'm going to connect it with the curve, and then I'm going to maintain the 4 inches downwards. So that is about everything we need to do to cut this. You can see that I said it is quite simple. I'm just going to shift it and then complete my 4 inches measurement. So you can see that it is simple to make this. So now I'm just going to take my scissors and then cut this out. So I understand that the chalk is not so visible, so after cutting this, I'm going to take a pattern paper and then I'll explain everything that I did on the paper so that you'll understand this better. So I'm cutting it now. And then I'm cuffing it to my sleeve opening. Okay, so this is where my 7 inches sleeve opening stops, so I'm okay with that. The next cutting I'm going to be doing now is my neckline. So I'll cut the back neckline first. Remember, the back is the lowest, and then I'm going to cut my shoulder slope also. So after cutting this, I'm going to remove the back so that I can cut the front neckline also. Okay, so this is what we have. Let me just go over this again. We folded our 2.5 fabric into 4. After folding it into 4 inches, I measured my back neckline 3 inches by 1 for back, 3 inches by 8 for front. The back is shaped like this and the front is a fish shape. Then here I'm going down by 3 inches for my shoulder slope. Then I connected from here to my neckline. So where my shoulder slope stops, I measured from here to here 7 inches for my sleeve opening. And then after that, from the edge here, I measured from the edge inside by 4 inches. Then I took the measurements down, then I curved it from here to go and meet the hemline. So that is everything that I did. I don't think I need to explain this on a pattern again. So now to cut out the front neckline, I'm just going to open this out now, and then I'm going to remove the back. So I'll be left with just the front. Then I'm going to refold it like this, and then to cut my front neckline, I'll take my scissors and then I'll cut out my V shape. Okay, so that is all you need to do for the cutting. You can see that it is quite simple. So now the next thing you're going to do now is to start to sew it. So to sew this now, remember it's a ruched gown, so it's going to be having like a ruched effect here. So you're going to be creating that ruched effect. So I'm going to be turning this now to the wrong side, and then on this center part I've cut out a fabric of 2 inches width. Okay, so where you want your ruched effect to be, you're going to be placing it at the center here. You can mark the center, but if you can eyeball it is also fine. So you can mark the center front round like this. So you're going to be placing it there, and then I'm going to take it all the way down. So here I'm going to sew it on this side and also on this second side, then at the middle, so that I can pass my rope. So I'll take this to the machine now and do this to show us. I've sewn it together now. You can see the seam line here. I have it sewn on one side, on the other side, and then at the middle. So I'm going to be passing 2 long ropes through this. So I have 2 channels, one here and the other one is here. So I have 2 long ropes like this, and I'm going to be passing it through this to the down part using my safety pin. So I'll just take one of the ropes and then I'm going to pass it. Okay, so now I've gone ahead to pass it now. So this is it on the hemline. So I'm going to stitch it here so that I can stop it from moving downwards when I'm dragging it. So the excess that I have here, I'm just going to cut it off. So you can actually drag it as much as you want with that, you can see. Okay, and you can leave it free if that is what you want. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to put the front on fold. Still on the front, I'm going to put the front bodice on fold like this, Then I'm going to measure my half length. So the half length I'm working with is 16 inches. I'll take my tape rule and then measure 16 inches. So I have my 16 inches mark here. So on this 16 inches mark, I'm going to take my waistline measurement, my waist circumference. The waist circumference I'm working with is 30 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 7.5. So I'm going to measure the 7.5 here. Okay. So on the other side also, I'm going to note where the 7.5 is. So it is on this point. Now I can open it out. The reason I mark that is so that I can add a belt to this. The belt is what I'm going to be using to give it fitting at the front. So now I have 2 ropes here, and then I'll take it to the sewing machine and sew one on this side where I marked, and then the other one will be on this side. So that is what I'm going to be using to tie it at the back, so that it can have fitting in front if I want. So now see my rope here, I've sewn it. Now I can use this to tie it at the back so that it can have some form of fitting in front. So now I'm done with the alterations I want to do on the front bodies. The next thing to do now is to join the front and back bodies together. And to do this, I'm just going to spread out the front bodies like this, and then I'm going to place the back on it. Okay, so on the shoulder here, I'm going to sew the shoulder together on both shoulders. If you are going to be adding facing to this, you need to cut out your facing now and turn it out. Well, I'm just going to be turning this with a bias. Okay, so that is why I'm not adding it with, but facing is actually better. I'm just doing this for the purpose of the tutorial, so I'm really not concerned about the neatness. So you sew it here and here, and then on the sides here you leave the sleeve opening, and then you start sewing from here. Then after that we hem it on the sleeve opening and also on the hemline. So I'll take it to the sewing machine now. I'm going to sew the shoulder together, and then I'll join the sides also. So now I've gone ahead to sew it on the shoulder and on both sides. I'm now going to turn it out so that we can see what it's looking like. And like I said, if you're doing yours, you should cut facing for this to turn the front and back. But I'm just doing this for the purpose of the, and I don't want the video to be too long, so I'm sure we know how to cut our facing already by now. If you don't know how to, let me know in the comment section, and I will link you to the video where you can watch how to cut your facing. So this is what it's looking like now. So I'm going to take it to the mannequin. So the next thing is just for us to pipe the neckline and also the sleeve opening. I'll just take it to the mannequin now so that we will see what this is looking like. Okay, so this is the Bubu dress. You can see how lovely this is looking, and I've dragged the rope in front. That is why we have this ruched effect in front. And also if you look at the waistline, you will see that it is fitted on the waistline. So the rope that we attach to it, the inner rope that we attach to it on the waistline, I just tied it to the back. So this makes the front fitted while the back is okay. So this is the back, and you can see that the back is loosely fitted. Okay, so there are several ways you can actually style this kaftan. It's very versatile. Okay, so the first way is by styling it like this, which you will drag the ruch effect that you have in front and also tie your inner belt. Another way you can wear this is by just losing your inner belt, and it will just have this ruch effect in front. Okay, so I just want to show us the second way I was talking about. Now I've loosed the inner belt, and you can see that it is also free in front now. The front now is also free, and the back is also free. So this is another method you can wear this. Another method you can do is to just losing out this ruch effect so that you have something just flat in front and also at the back. Okay, so when you loosen the ruch effect, this is what you have in front. Okay, the front will be free while the back will also be free. So the last way you can wear this is by losing the ruch effect, and then you tie your inner rope at the back. So you have something free, something fitted in front, and then the back will be free, but without the ruched effect like what we have in the first styling. So I've tied it at the front, and you can see that the front here is fitted while it is loose on the back. So those are the 4 ways you can style this Bubu Kaftan, and you can see it is really versatile, it's beginner friendly, and it is really lovely. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed this, let us know in the comment section. Subscribe, like, and comment on this tutorial, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.